jobber payments is super dope because
I'm 1,000 pieces, still standing tall, a voice in the chaos. I've lived it all. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, a friend in the night, holding a broken, still holding the light. Shells in my pocket, dreams in my hands, building something they don't understand. The crafter of hope from shattered days, finding my strength in a million ways. They don't see the tears fall down in the shower. They don't know the pain behind the power. They only see me when I'm shining bright, not the battles I fight every night. But still I rise through the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong. This is where I belong. Mommy ramblings in my name. I built this boy full of pain. Every rambler that stayed by my side, you're the reason I survive. Still I rise, still I stand, with a broken heart and steady hands. They try to tear me down piece by piece, like I don't deserve a moment of peace. Was it just cause I didn't fit their mold, so they threw their stones and turned so cold? There are things I'll never say out loud, the kind of pain I don't need a crowd, but I carry it deep where the silence lives, and still find a way to give and give. And I smile when I go live like I'm okay, but they don't see the price I'll pay. I'm missing you with every breath I take, my sweet boy, my heart's still brave. But still I rose for the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong. This is where I belong. Mommy ramblings, this is me. Every left, still chasing dreams. Every rambler that never walked away. You're the light that got me through the grave. Still I rise, still out there, with your memory in my head. God, you carried me when I was weak, when I couldn't stand, you lifted me more times than I could ever say. You made a way, you made a way. And I've got dreams that won't let go, a foundation built, some love I know. For my son, for the words he played, I'll turn my loss into something that remains. Yeah, I rise, now I'm stronger than before. Every scar just opened up a door. I'm still here, hear me now. I won't break, I won't bow. Mommy rambling, loud and clear. This is my voice, this is my ear. Every rambler, every heart, you've been with me from the start. Still I rise, still I fight, turning darkness into light. I'm still your mom, I still stay your name, and I'll build something beautiful from all this pain. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah. You try to break me with your words, try to wear me down with time, turn my name into your story, but you never crossed my line. You watched, you waited, you obsessed, you try to make me small, but all that noise you throw at me never moved me at all. I'm still here, hear me now. Every scar, every mile, you don't get my silence, you don't get my light. I'm still here, standing tall. After everything My name is Caroline, and this channel was built on something stronger than hate. It was built on truth, courage, and family. They try to shake the ground I stand on, try to drown me in the noise, but every lie just made me louder. Every storm just found my voice. Some of you came here for answers. Some of you came just to see. But somewhere in the middle of it, you became family. And every night the day goes dry, and every night the circle grows. And goes dry, more hearts than they will ever know. Welcome to Mommy Ramblings tonight, where truth stands strong and hearts unite. Bring your story, bring your light. Right here we rise and fight. No more silence, no more fear. Every voice is welcome here. This is more than what it seems. It's family, it's hope, it's Mommy Ramblings. They try to tear this place apart, but they underestimate it hard. Because when one voice stands up tall, 1,000 more will answer the call. Welcome to Mommy Ramblings tonight, where courage burns and hope ignites. Bring your story, bring your light. Right here we rise and fight. Through every storm and every flame, I'll still remember every name. This is more than what it seems. It's family, it's hope, it's Mommy
Okay, hold on. Let me shut that off. Hang on. Hello, everybody. Now, where was I? Let me get rid of this. So, is it hot enough for you guys? It didn't feel that humid to me here. I almost felt like what they call dry heat, but the humidity was 60 something percent. So then we went swimming. I don't know, I didn't feel that refreshed after swimming, but then I don't know, it wasn't, I didn't think it was that hot. But it's supposed to get like brutal, I think, in the next 4 days. You don't have a basement, but the AC is on 72. Okay, so you just shared the live. Thank you, Addie. All right, so we got a lot to talk about tonight. We have now. Yesterday we just talked about that routers, tomato, brutal. I think said that those ransom notes are all fakes, but the FBI didn't. They wouldn't list their sources. Now, today, Harvey from TMZ said that he spoke with two people in the FBI who also didn't want to give their names, one connected to the case and one not connected to the case. And they said the two ransom notes, the ones that first were that the Guthrie family addressed, that those two, let me put my camera on. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. That those two ransom notes were more legitimate than not. Okay, so Then he addressed the notes that he's been getting, the ones with the Bitcoin and the video and all that. And he said that those notes are less legitimate. Okay? Something to that effect. Hey, Amy's Justice League, good to see you. Hi. So, what does it mean? So, like I said, there were some former detectives, etc., who were rejoicing yesterday, saying, oh, yes, as I've said all along, and now they're coming back and trying to, I don't know, piece it together. It doesn't mean they're legitimate. It doesn't. But it goes back to the FBI saying that they're maybe legitimate, and maybe it's a little more legitimate than not legitimate. So that's what we have there. Hi, Tammy. I don't know how anybody else feels about that. The whole Nancy Guthrie case, to me, is a circus. It really is. They should, under the big top, the whole thing is a flipping circus. Do I know where she is? No, I don't know where she is. You guys don't know either. We can guess that, is she in Mexico? Is she here? Is she there? Sometimes I think you're in the Pacific Northwest. You can no longer handle what happened, the time zone you worked in when you were with a certain network. Oh, you can't handle the time zone? So, hey, Addie, did you hear that the Murdaugh trial is going to be, April 5th? That'll be jury selection, and she said she's not going to move it. She told them that. I want to go down there and cover that trial. Scooter wants to go too. Because she likes an attorney that was on the prosecution before. I forget what his name is. He's the guy, not Creighton Waters. I forget what his name is. But anyway, so what really else? We're going to take, I haven't really gone into Nancy Guthrie much, but I'm going to just right now see if there's any other updates other than that these notes are more legitimate than not. Some people are happy because they feel like, they can, I guess, analyze them a little more. I think other people are not so happy. Who knows? But let's see if there's any other updates before we go on, besides all the shenanigans. All right, let's see. We have Savannah Guthrie, hold on a minute, releases a new statement. As we are now 5 months, hold on, let's see. So this says, it is 5 months of agony and unending trauma for our family. There is not a moment, hold on a minute, I just was reading that.
Comments.
Let me see. There is not a moment that goes by that we aren't actively trying to find our mom. We thank the people of Tucson for holding her in their hearts, as well as both the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department for their tireless work on behalf of our family. Bring her home. Well, you see, she didn't thank any of the live streamers sitting in front of her mom's home. She didn't thank any of the reporters like Brian Enton or Ashley Banfield or any of the ex-FBI agents like Jennifer Coffindaffer, who or talking about this case. She thanks the people of Tucson for holding her in their hearts, as well as both the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department. So that's that. Now let's see what else we have. If the state, what is this? Okay, so the FBI and its task force partners have received several ransom notes over the course of this investigation. Some have been deemed to be extortion attempts without legitimacy. Other ransom demands may potentially be legitimate and are still being investigated as such. The case continues to be investigated as a kidnapping for ransom case. This is from the FBI. The FBI has and will continue to offer all assistance possible in the investigation. However, local authorities remain the lead. What else do we have? The United Cajun Navy deployed to Tucson to offer assistance in the search for Nancy Guthrie, but they were turned down by local law enforcement. So they went back and they were turned down. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, the FBI statement, here it is. The FBI and its task force partners have received several ransom notes over the course of the investigation. Some have been deemed to be extortion attempts without legitimacy. Other ransom demands may potentially be legitimate and are still being investigated as such. This case continues to be investigated as a kidnapping for ransom case. The FBI has and will continue to offer all assistance possible in the investigation. However, local authorities remain the lead. FBI, Phoenix. Okay, let's see here. Nancy. I think that's probably all she wrote on this. Let me see. I'm looking for anything else. See, that's why, yeah. That looks like about it on Nancy, but we have stuff on Charlie Adelson. And I'm interested in Charlie Adelson. I don't know how people can sit here and talk for 3, 4, 5 hours on Nancy Guthrie. I don't get it. I can't do it. It's intensely just ridiculous for me, because what is there to, that's it. That's all there is. That's all there is. Can you just keep rehashing it? Let's look at this, that. That to me is like insulting to people. Okay. You can't decide. Hold on, I have to make this bigger. Hold on 1 second. You can't decide they are bad, but you are good. It's not how it works. Excuse me? I'm ugly? I don't even know what your comment means. She also did thank you for your coverage. You are part of the circus. Oh, okay, so you're I'm ugly is here to be ugly. But that's okay. You've shown everybody that you truly are ugly. So you don't even really need to have that name, because we can tell you're ugly by your comments. Then don't do it. You're disrespectful. So don't report on it. It's insulting to me. You're not my boss, number one. Okay? Don't tell me what to do. And you can say yourself out of here, because we don't like ugly here. And we're not talking about looks. We're talking about your words. Okay? See you later. Let's see. It's hard being YouTuber. We try to make sure we show those who are on the ground. Yeah. Yes, Addie, but yeah, Brian is very good. I like Brian Enton. I do like Brian Enton. Everybody knows that. They, oh my gosh, don't even go with Brian Enton. So, let's see now. Let's go to Charlie Adelson, because the Adelson case is a case that is really interesting. It has so many different components in a murder for hire plot, and it's like kind of like that other case, that Tracy, what was her name? I don't think it had everything. The Adelson case, I really don't think there's a murder for hire case that has just shown the downfall of a family, of people that did not think, of a life that they took of a brilliant man, Dan Markel, of let me see here, of Dan Markel was just this wonderful professor, a wonderful father. He was just a great man. And because people thought that their importance was so much and that they were like smarter than the average bear and they were not going to get caught in this, and they almost didn't get caught in this for a long time, they killed him so that Wendy could move to South Florida. And the amount of people that are involved in this, and still co-conspirators that haven't been tried yet. And I know a lot of us are waiting for Wendy, right? And people even believe there's no way that Harvey didn't know about this. But just the way that this case went down, I mean, you could not write something into a movie that would even be believable as to how Donna Adelson got caught. Right? You couldn't. How could... They're saying terrible things about my son. I'm Ugly is saying terrible things about my son, Murder of Crows, to try to trigger me. So one of my moderators is deleting it because they're being very ugly. So we're deleting their ugly because we don't like ugly here, Murder. So, where was I? So then Donna was on a jail call after Charlie was convicted. And the call dropped. Well, she thought they dropped. But it was on. She left her phone on. And everything was recorded on the jail line. Now, for all of those things to align, you have to figure in some divine intervention. Right? I'm not rude to victims. I'm ugly. Okay? So I don't know why you're spending your time here, because you are doing nothing but being ugly. And do not speak of my son. You didn't even know my son. Okay? Leave my son out of your ugly mouth. So I can't believe that phone call could be on there. Because if you think about everything, it shouldn't be. But it was recorded. And it literally said that she was going to go look, to Vietnam and all of this. She was getting things in order. So what happens? Then Donna's arrested at the Miami International Airport. And she's arrested with Harvey there. We've seen it. It's crazy. And you say, well, how the heck? I think Donna was in her 70s, right? Was she like 72 when she was arrested? Yes. Think she was, let me see, 72, and she said Harvey was like 80, right? So we're going to 80. How is he going to get home? How is he going to do this? And they were removing all of her jewelry, and we have that. We have shown that. We can go back and show that. But today, Charlie lost his appeal. So all of these people that think Carmelo Anthony is going to get this appeal, and they just don't understand. They all appeal. Very few get a new trial, right? I mean, we've seen a couple right here, Letitia and Murda, but that's not the norm. Not at all. So let's pull up the paper, right? And we're going to go over Charlie's appeal because I grabbed the papers. And Charlie Adelson. Okay, let me pull this over. Charlie Adelson. Let's make this nice and big. July 1st, 2026. Hot off the presses, right? Let me get back to the chat. Hold on, I got to get my chat up here so I can see you guys when I'm doing this. Oh. Okay, hang on. All right. Get my notes up here. Got that. All right, and I just have to okay. So Charles Adelson, appellant, State of Florida, appellee, on appeal from the Circuit Court for Leon County, Stephen S. Everett, judge. And that was the same judge that was Donna Adelson's judge, right? So Dan Markel was murdered at his home in 2014. In the 12 years since the murder, 5 defendants were charged and convicted and sentenced for their role in the plot to murder Markel. Charles Adelson, Markel's brother-in-law, was the 4th defendant to be convicted. After a jury trial, Adelson was found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation to commit murder, and this is his direct appeal. Adelson argues that the trial court erred when it denied his motion for a change of venue. 2, denied his motion to strike veneer panel. 3, refused to enter into evidence certain text messages and excluded hearsay evidence from a recorded phone call. Adelson also argues that the cumulative effect of the alleged errors deprived him of a fair trial. We affirm without further comment Adelson's 3rd and 4th claims of trial court error and his claim of cumulative error. As we explain below, we also affirm his first 2 claims of error. in 2014, Markel was sitting inside his car in his home garage. Hi, Colleen. When he was shot twice in the head. The investigation into the murder unraveled a conspiracy that connected the family of Markel's wife, Wendy Adelson, to the shooting. Before the murder, Markel and Wendy, who were recently divorced, were involved in a contentious court battle over Wendy's petition to relocate with her 2 sons. What is Addie saying? She's saying the Adelsons can never. The Adelsons was a big trial that we covered when I was with Law and Crime. I wanted it to be. I think it should have been, but it wasn't, in my opinion. Yeah, I know, right? I know. I think Charlie and Donna were bigger, but yeah, when they did Catherine Magbanoa, they say both like tomato, and Sigfredo Garcia, and then Luis Rivera is the one that turned state's witness. No, don't be sorry. Why are you sorry? Don't worry. I can read. I make a lot of typos too when you're typing fast, and you know what? I use a lot of talk to text. And oh my gosh, the talk to text is the worst now. It's and it does such stupid things, like it will not put Carmelo Anthony. It keeps putting it with a C no matter what. Yeah. Crazy. Okay, now where did we go? All right, so he was sitting inside his car in his home garage when he was shot twice in the head. The investigation into his murder unraveled a conspiracy that connected the family of Wendy Adelson to the shooting. Before the murder, they were involved in a contentious court battle after their divorce, right? Wendy's petition to relocate with their 2 sons, that's what it was over. And Wendy, her parents, Donna and Harvey Adelson, and her brother, Charlie Adelson, all wanted Wendy to leave Tallahassee. We know how Wendy felt about Tallahassee, with the 2 boys and return to South Florida, where Wendy's family lived. Donna even suggested that Wendy offer Markel $1 million to allow Wendy to relocate to South Florida with the children. Dan adamantly objected to the children's relocation to South Florida, and he opposed Wendy's petition for relocation. He wanted to be involved in his kid's life. He worked in Tallahassee. But see, for those of you that didn't follow this case, Dan Markel was never good enough for Wendy in Donna's eyes. And Donna kind of feels like she got a bait and switch, because for some reason she felt that Dan was going to go to Washington, D.C. and be like a high-profile boutique lawyer, not some lowly professor in Tallahassee. That was just embarrassing for the family, you know. You could be making big bucks, and you could be, Wendy would be leading such a great life. And so anyway, Wendy herself a lawyer, but she wasn't any great shakes over there. She was doing, she wrote a book actually that they say kind of mirrored her life. And we've talked about that in other videos. But anyway, so yeah, he just wasn't good enough for their Wendy. Okay, she should be having somebody that's making millions. And they also didn't like his Orthodox Jewish ways that he wanted to raise the children by keeping a kosher home. And to Donna, that's crazy. How are they not going to eat shrimp and shellfish? This is nuts. What is he doing? They were just really put off by it. Okay, so she just wanted Dan erased. They wanted Dan erased because the $1 million was going to be, just let us relocate and leave us the freak alone. Okay, maybe they said you could fly in like once a month or something and see your kids, and they essentially did everything they could to erase him. And Wendy even changed the kids' names. She took the Markel last name from these kids. She didn't let them see the grandparents, the paternal grandparents. So, yeah, this is what they wanted to erase. Let's see. Addie says, this family, in my opinion, was all about, who was going to cover them? Oh, I don't think she struck a deal. I don't think so. Don't count it out yet. Don't count Wendy out yet. If you watch Wendy's interview, I'm sorry, I don't know who could think she's innocent if you watch that police interview. There are so many things in there that tell you Wendy knew this completely. So let's see, a month after he died, she changed her name. Yeah, she changed her name. It was just nuts. Anyway, where were we here? So investigators quickly developed Adelson as a suspect in Markel's murder. Hours after the murder, law enforcement interviewed Wendy. She volunteered that her family might have been involved in the murder. She told investigators that Adelson once joked that he bought Wendy a television as a divorce gift because it was cheaper than hiring a hitman. Through further investigation, law enforcement obtained surveillance videos from multiple sources showing that on the morning of the murder of Dan Markel, he had been followed by a rental car as he drove to his son's school, then to the gym, and then returned home. Investigators determined that the car that was stalking Dan was rented by Luis Rivera and Sigfrido Garcia. Law enforcement was then able to connect Sigfrido Garcia to the Adelsons through Adelson's former girlfriend, Catherine Magbanua. Magbanua and Adelson had dated and remained in touch with each other. Magbanua was romantically involved with Sigfrido Garcia. He was the baby daddy of her children. Investigators also learned that 2 months after Dan Markel's murder, that Magbanua began receiving a salary from the Adelsons' dental practice, even though there was no evidence that she worked there. Eventually, Luis Rivera confessed to his involvement in the conspiracy to murder Markel. And you know what? I don't even know if I've ever shown that, but I do have his interview. Maybe we'll look at this after that, where he agreed to this. Okay. Rivera told investigators that Katie Magbanua hired Sigfrido Garcia to kill Dan Markel, and then Garcia approached Rivera, a member of the Latin Kings, to complete the job. Rivera understood from Katie Magbanua that the Adelsons wanted Dan Markel dead so that Wendy and her children could relocate to South Florida. Luis Rivera, Sigfrido Garcia, Katie Magbanua were paid $100,000 to kill Dan Markel, and they were paid with $100 bills that were stapled together in increments of $1,000. Investigators learned that Charlie Adelson habitually kept his money stapled together in this manner. And then you remember the money was wet. Remember that? It was with the wet money? Yeah, crazy. Colleen says, I thought maybe they gave her a deal. They won't prosecute. Oh, I don't know. No. I don't think Georgia wants to give her a deal at all. Okay. Rivera's confession led to the arrests, the trials, and convictions of Magbanua and Sigfrido Garcia. After her conviction, Katie admitted that Charlie Adelson gave her money for the hit on Dan Markel and provided her with the necessary information to locate Dan Markel. Katie Magbanua then passed that information to Sigfrido Garcia and Luis Rivera. Based on that information that was obtained from Katie and other evidence developed by investigators, Donna was charged with Dan Markel's murder. And after a 2025 jury trial, Donna was convicted for her involvement in the conspiracy to murder Dan Markel. Charlie Adelson was also tried by a jury. He was found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation to commit murder. The trial court sentenced him to life in prison and 2 consecutive terms of 30 years in prison. This appeal follows. Adelson argues that the trial court erred when it denied his motion for a change in venue. About a month before jury selection began, defense counsel moved to use an 11-page juror questionnaire to aid in the selection of a fair and impartial jury. Defense counsel asserted that there was legitimate concern that the publicity that surrounds Markel's murder has so infected the community that a change in venue may ultimately be required. The court denied the motion, finding that the individual voir dire would satisfy defense counsel's concerns about pre-trial publicity. Jury selection was conducted over 3 days. The court called in a panel of 50 prospective jurors at a time, read a brief description of the case, and determined whether the prospective jurors were qualified to serve due to the publicity surrounding the murder. The court individually asked 130 prospective jurors some forms of these questions. Number 1, what do you know about this case? Number 2, what are the sources that you've obtained this knowledge from? Number 3, based on what you know, do you have an opinion about Adelson's guilt or innocence? Number 4, can you set aside your present knowledge, disregard it, and render a verdict solely on the evidence that is presented in the courtroom? And 5, can you be fair and impartial? After hearing the responses to the court's questions, the prosecutor and the defense counsel were permitted to ask follow-up questions. Out of the 130 prospective jurors interviewed, 96 had heard of the case. 54 of the 96 admitted they had formed an opinion about the case, and 53 of them believed that Charlie Adelson was guilty. The trial court excused all 54 prospective jurors who had formed an opinion about the case. Bye-bye now. The remaining panel members returned for a group voir dire. After the trial court and counsel had individually questioned all 130 prospective jurors, defense counsel orally moved for a change of venue. Counsel argued that the prospective jurors' responses during the individual questioning showed that Adelson could not receive a fair trial in Leon County because of the extensive pre-trial publicity that surrounds Dan Markel's murder. Counsel argued that, as demonstrated by the answers from the mayor of the city right down to the citizens of the county, there is not a single person except for one man whose opinion I discount that has said anything other than this man is guilty. As for prospective jurors who admitted that they have been exposed to publicity about the murder but claimed that they had not formed an opinion about Adelson's guilt, defense counsel contended that the court should not find them credible. The prosecutor objected to defense counsel's argument that a fair trial could not be conducted in Leon County. The prosecutor pointed out that in just 2 days of jury selection, roughly 60 of the prospective jurors individually questioned by the court had passed the publicity test, and based on the responses given by the prospective jurors, the court denied the motion. Okay. All right. You've been denied. Hold on one sec. What is Addie saying? Colleen, I have no choice but to blame for your the typo stuff. What did I just do? Hold on one second. Okay. The court noted that several prospective jurors indicated that they had no exposure to the case whatsoever. The court further explained that the other jurors who have had exposure to the local media have indicated that they will follow the law and they will render a verdict that's based solely on the evidence. The case went on to the group voir dire. When selecting the jury, both sides exhausted their preemptory challenges. And I remember that Charlie had, wasn't it Charlie that had special counsel for picking the jury? I believe he did, right? When selecting the jury, both sides exhausted their preemptory challenges, 10 for the main jury and 1 for the alternate. At the end of jury selection, the trial court asked Adelson if he accepted the jury, and Adelson replied, "Yes, Your Honor." The trial court then swore in the jury. Defense counsel did not renew the motion for change of venue before the jury was sworn. Adelson argues that the trial court reversibly erred when it denied his motion for a change in venue, which deprived him of his constitutional right to trial by an impartial jury. He contends that the community was so pervasively exposed to prejudicial media coverage about Dan Markel's murder that it was impossible for Charlie Adelson to seat an impartial jury in Leon County, and he asserts that prospective jurors who claim to have no information about the murder or who claim to have not formed an opinion about his guilt should not be believed. Yeah, right, Colleen? The United States Constitution and the Florida Constitution guarantee a criminal defendant the right to a public trial by an impartial jury. Jurors are considered impartial when their minds do not contain any element of prejudice for or against either party in a case to be tried before him, and when the jurors can render a verdict solely on the evidence presented and the law given by the court. And the test to determine the juror's partiality is whether the juror possesses the state of mind necessary to render a verdict in accordance with the evidence and not based upon preconceived opinions. But to be impartial, must the jury and individual jurors be ignorant of the cause to be tried? Not at common law. And then it was expected that jurors drawn from the community would be knowledgeable about the case and that they would decide cases based on that personal knowledge. But over time, it was recognized that convenience gained by an informed jury could be undermined by another very natural and almost unavoidable inconvenience, that jurors coming out of the immediate neighborhood would be apt to intermix their prejudices and partialities in the trial of right. To avoid this problem, the American criminal justice system moved away from one impaneling juries with informed jurors to one seeking to impanel juries with little to no knowledge about the case. But even under the modern trend, jurors need not be ignorant of the case to be tried before them, nor does knowledge of the cause necessarily render a juror partial. This is true even for juries for trials involving high-profile crimes, when members of the veneer will be exposed to some information about the crime through pretrial publicity. Every case of public interest is almost as a matter of necessity brought to the attention of all the intelligent people in the vicinity, and scarcely anyone can be found among those best fitted for jurors who has not read or heard of it, and who has not had some impression or some opinion in respect to its merits. Observing that media coverage and publicity are only to be expected when murder is committed. Pretrial publicity will give rise to a presumption of prejudice among the members of the veneer only in the most extreme circumstances. A change of venue is appropriate only when the general state of mind of the inhabitants of a community is so infected by knowledge of the incident and accompanying prejudice, biased, and preconceived opinions that jurors could not possibly put these matters out of their mind and try the case solely on the evidence presented in the courtroom. Adelson argues that the pre-trial publicity surrounding his trial was so pervasive and inflammatory that it's impossible to impanel an impartial jury in Leon County. And, as we will explain, he failed to preserve his arguments for appeal, and he has not met his burden to show fundamental error. B. Adelson contends that the trial court's denial of his oral motion for a change of venue violated his rights to an impartial jury under the federal and state constitutions. But even constitutional rights are subject to preservation requirements. No procedural principle is more familiar to this court than that a constitutional right may be forfeited in criminal as well as civil cases by the failure to make timely assertion of the right before a tribunal having jurisdiction to determine it. And here Adelson failed in two ways to preserve his challenge to the trial court's ruling. First, he failed to make his motion in writing. To secure the constitutional right of a criminal defendant to a public trial by an impartial jury, the Florida Supreme Court adopted Florida Rule of Criminal Procedure 3.240, and under that rule, a defendant may move for a change of venue when a fair and impartial trial cannot be had in the county where the case is pending. The rule requires that a motion seeking a change of venue be in writing. The rule also requires the movant to attach an affidavit setting forth facts on which the motion is based and a certificate by the movant's counsel that the motion is made in good faith. Adelson's counsel did not comply with the rule in several respects. He did not file a written motion. He never submitted supporting affidavits to show the extent of pretrial publicity, nor did he certify that the motion was made in good faith. And due to these failures, Adelson's challenge to the trial court's ruling on his motion to change venue was not preserved for appellate review. Second, notwithstanding his failure to comply with Rule 3.240, Adelson failed to preserve his challenge to the trial court's venue ruling because his counsel failed to renew the venue motion before the jury was sworn. The purpose of the preservation requirement is to place the trial judge on notice that error may have been committed and provide him an opportunity to correct it at an early stage of the proceedings. The preservation requirement prevents a defendant from standing by silently while an objectionable juror is seated and then, if the verdict is adverse, obtain a new trial. Here, it could have been that after voir dire, Adelson and his counsel were satisfied with the jury seated for his trial and made a strategic decision not to renew the motion to change the venue. Adelson's counsel did not review the motion before the jury was sworn. Because he failed to preserve this issue below, we affirm the trial court's ruling on the venue motion, and Adelson cannot show that the trial court fundamentally erred by denying the motion for a change in venue. An error is considered fundamental when it reaches down into the validity of the trial itself, to the extent that a verdict of guilty could not have been obtained without the assistance of the alleged error. And Adelson cannot show fundamental error on this record. When ruling on a motion for a change in venue, a trial court must consider. Hey Denise, thank you so much for that. I love you too. Let me play you a song. Take a little break here. Let's see. Thank you so much. That's very generous. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Denise. I appreciate that. Love you. Hey, murder, you're dancing too. You almost ended up being part of one case. Could have landed you in front of a judge. Law and Crime handled it. It was never an issue in the case. Well, interesting. You sound like you have a lot of fun stories. We got to get you up. Tell Addie she's got to come up and we've got to do a show. She could tell us a lot of stuff that's probably very interesting. Tell me when you want to do it, Addie. I'm at your disposal there. Okay. When ruling on the motion for the change in venue, a trial court must consider the extent and nature of any pretrial publicity, the difficulty encountered in actually selecting a jury. When we begin with the second prong, the difficulty encountered by the trial court in seating a jury. The Florida Supreme Court has instructed trial courts to endeavor to impanel a jury before ruling on a motion of change in venue, explaining that voir dire affords an opportunity to determine whether individuals who have not been seriously infected by the publicity can be found. The trial court followed those instructions in this case. To determine whether impartial jurors could be found, the trial court began by individually interviewing 130 prospective jurors. They examined the jurors to determine the extent of their knowledge from pretrial publicity and assess them whether they had formed an opinion about the case. Most of them, 96, had heard about Markel's murder, and of the 96, 54 had formed an opinion about the case, and all but one of the 54 prospective jurors concluded that Charlie Adelson was guilty. Still, none of the jurors who formed an opinion about Adelson's guilt served on the jury. Okay, and then, indeed, where are we? The record as detailed below also reveals that the jurors actually seated had very limited knowledge of the case. Of the 12 individuals who were selected to serve, 7 reported that they did not regularly watch the news. 4 others had heard about the Markel case on the local news or read about it on the local paper, and 1 juror heard about the case on the radio. Juror AM stated that she had briefly seen something about the murder on WCTV within the last year, yet she maintained that she had not formed an opinion about the case because she did not know Charlie Adelson. She repeated this sentiment during group voir dire when defense counsel asked if anyone did not believe that Adelson was innocent until proven guilty. AM responded that it was unfair to make assumptions about people and that she would need to hear the facts. Juror BG remembered hearing about the murder when it happened 10 years ago, but she did not regularly consume the news. BG remembered seeing a preview for a television special about the murder, but she did not watch the special. In fact, she was unaware that there was more than one special until defense counsel mentioned it. Similarly, juror TB said he had seen something about the murder on WCTV, but he only watched the news in spurts. When asked if he could be fair and impartial, he responded, "Absolutely." Juror JK regularly checked the news online, but it had been some months since he had seen anything about the case. He knew that Adelson was accused of hiring someone to murder Dan Markel, but when asked if he believed that allegation, he responded, "I don't think I have enough information to make that sort of judgment." Juror DM knew basically nothing about the case, and he did not read the local newspaper, the Tallahassee Democrat, nor did he watch the local news. He worked at FSU during the time of the murder, so he remembered that a law professor had been murdered. He affirmed that he did not have an opinion about Adelson's guilt. Juror JH also had limited knowledge of this case. He knew that a professor had been shot, but he clarified that it had been years since he had seen anything about the case on the news. He explained that he did not have an opinion about Adelson's guilt because he did not know nothing. Juror Obi Juan Kenobi, no, remembered hearing about the murder when it occurred, but she had not watched any news broadcasts or read any news articles about the murder. She explained that she had never seen Adelson on the news. In fact, she said that the first time she heard Adelson's name was during jury selection. Juror RP heard about the case on the radio. On the radio. But he could not remember any details. He asserted that he had not formed an opinion about Adelson's guilt. He could decide the case based on the evidence presented at trial, and he could be impartial. Juror KS asserted that she knew nothing about the case, and she denied reading or hearing about the case. When asked if she watched any news reports about the murder, she responded, "I don't watch the news. It's too depressing." And she asserted that she could not remember the last time she read the Tallahassee Democrat. What all the seated jurors had in common was that they each communicated to the trial court that they had not formed an opinion about Adelson's guilt, and that they were able to convince the trial court that they could be fair and impartial. Even so, Adelson insists the jurors were not being truthful when they stated that they could be impartial, and set aside any knowledge of the murder stemming from pretrial publicity. He invites this court to look behind the jurors' responses and the trial court's credibility determinations. We must decline the invitation. This is because we must afford great deference to the trial court's decision on whether a prospective juror is able to lay aside any bias or prejudice and render his verdict solely upon the evidence presented and the instructions on the law given. On this record, Adelson has failed to show that the trial court encountered difficulty in seating an impartial jury. After questioning 130 prospective jurors over 3 days, the trial court evaluated their credibility and determined that the jurors seated for Adelson's trial could be impartial, and nothing in the record supports an argument that any of the seated jurors were not impartial. And for this record, Adelson cannot show that it was impossible for the trial court to seat an impartial jury. We now turn back to the first prong of the rolling test and consider whether the duration, intensity, and nature of the pretrial publicity surrounding Dan Markel's murder made it impossible to seat an impartial jury in Leon County. Adelson had the burden to show that pretrial publicity was prejudicial and inflammatory, and that the prejudicial pretrial publicity saturated the community where the trial was held. When making the discretionary determination on whether pretrial publicity adversely affected the impartiality of the prospective jurors, the trial court must consider the length of time that has passed from the crime to the trial, and when within this time the publicity occurred, whether the publicity consisted of straight factual news stories or inflammatory stories, whether the news stories consisted of the police or prosecutor's version of the offense to the exclusion of the defendant's version, and the size of the community in question, and whether the defendant exhausted all of his preemptory challenges. Generally, the trial court can make determinations on publicity factors from the affidavits and other evidence submitted by the defense in support of a motion for a change of venue. But Adelson presented no evidence, nor did he make any argument on appeal about these factors. He relies only on responses of the prospective jurors during individual questioning and voir dire, arguing that their exposure to pretrial publicity created a presumption that an impartial jury could not be seated in Leon County. But he has failed to meet the heavy burden to show that pretrial publicity tainted the veneer in Leon County to the extent that it created a presumption of partiality. Almost 10 years had passed between Dan Markel's murder and Adelson's trial. The investigation into Dan Markel's murder continued to receive media attention during those 10 years as other members of the murder conspiracy were tried and convicted, but defense counsel offered no evidence other than through the responses from the prospective jurors to questioning to show how much publicity occurred during that relevant period, whether the coverage of the murder was factual or inflammatory, or whether the coverage excluded Adelson's version of evidence. Of the 12 jurors seated, 4 had heard about the murder through the local news stations. 1 had heard about it on the radio. Of the prospective jurors not selected, almost 50 heard about the murder through local television news broadcasts or the Tallahassee Democrat, and 10 heard about the murder on the radio. And 6 had listened to podcasts, including Over My Dead Body. 4 had watched the 2020 or Dateline specials highlighting the case. 4 had seen coverage on court TV, and 3 had watched videos about the murder on YouTube. Okay. Accused and the victims were what have we got here? Hold on, that's from the other stuff. Yeah. Adelson emphasizes that of the 130 prospective jurors that were interviewed during jury selection, 96 had heard about Dan Markel's murder. But again, Adelson ignores that prospective jurors need not be totally ignorant of the facts of the case, nor do they need to be free from any preconceived notion at all. Hi, Jen Grill. You have strong blustery winds? And rescue your... What did you have to rescue? Your umbrella? Oh, boy. My neighbor was saying that when I was swimming today, because I was way out in the middle of the lake and it started to thunder again. Crazy. And then my neighbor's like, close that umbrella. He's, yelling up too. So okay, I'm like, gosh, I better go in. Okay. So that's his rolling case. Okay. Adelson ignores prospective jurors need not be ignorant of the facts. Let's go over here. These are just other cases they're bringing in. We don't need to go through all that. Adelson also argues that there is a reason to doubt that an impartial jury was actually seated in his case. He points out that of the 96 prospective jurors who heard about Markel's murder, 54 had formed an opinion about Charlie Adelson's guilt, with all but 1 believing that Adelson was guilty. But Adelson cannot deny that none of those prospective jurors who had an opinion about his guilt sat on the jury. Rather, the trial court was careful to exclude any juror who had potentially prejudged the case, nor can he show that any of the selected jurors were partial. On this record, Adelson failed to show the general state of mind of the inhabitants of Leon County were so infected by knowledge of the incident and accompanying prejudice, bias, and preconceived opinions that jurors should not, could not possibly put these matters out of their minds and try the case solely on the evidence presented in the courtroom. And an impartial jury appears to have been seated for Adelson's trial, and so the trial court did not err, much less fundamentally err, when it denied Adelson's motion for a change of venue. Adelson next argues that the trial court erred when it denied his oral motion to strike the entire veneer because of the comments made in the jury assembly room by some of the prospective jurors. When jury selection began, the trial court instructed prospective jurors that they should not discuss the case while waiting in the assembly room. Even so, the parties discovered during jury selection that some individuals in the assembly room were ignoring the court's instructions, and one prospective juror reported that someone in the assembly room stated that it was a federal case, while another one said that the case must be about the FSU professor. A different person complained that they would be there for a long time after learning that the veneer was not abiding by his instructions. The trial court returned to the assembly room by his instructions. So hold on a minute. The trial court returned to the assembly room and again instructed the prospective jurors that there was to be no discussion concerning the subject matter of this case until they were excused from jury selection. Defense counsel then moved to strike the jury panel, arguing that it was impossible to know what else had been said in front of the prospective jurors in the assembly room, and the trial court denied the motion, concluding that it did not have the basis to strike this entire panel as a group right now. Why are you going to lose power? Okay, let me see here. Trial court then continued with the juror interviews. 2 other prospective jurors then reported people talking about the case in the assembly room. We're telling. Okay. With one reporting that someone said that Adelson was guilty. Someone said Charlie was guilty. Defense counsel again argued that the pool of prospective jurors had been tainted and renewed his motion to strike the panel. The reports of the prospective jurors discussing the case in the assembly room concerned the court. To alleviate the problem, the court offered to allow the parties to watch the recordings of the assembly room to see what was being said. At that point, defense counsel did not take up the court's offer. The court then denied the motion to strike the panel. The court added that if any independent investigation by the defense yields information that would demonstrate otherwise, I will reconsider the motion. Despite the trial court's open invitation to the defense to further investigate the issue and report back, nothing in the record or in the parties' briefs indicate that the defense counsel ever accepted the trial court's offer to view the recordings or to further investigate what may have been discussed in the assembly room. And that's just funny. Nothing in the record or in the parties' briefs. Who got the job to check their briefs? I'm just joking. You've got to have some, what do they call it? Gallows humor when you're doing dark stuff? Yeah, absolutely. Even so, Adelson argues that the trial court abused its discretion in denying his motion to strike the veneer. He said, but he failed to preserve his argument for appellate review by not filing his motion in writing and by failing to review his motion before the jury was sworn. Florida's Rule of Criminal Procedure requires that a challenge to the panel shall be in writing and shall specify the facts constituting the grounds of the challenge. So Adelson's oral motion to strike the jury panel was legally insufficient. Adelson's claim fails on preservation grounds for a second reason. To preserve jury selection issues for appellate review, a defendant must make 2 objections. A contemporaneous objection that puts the trial court on notice and a second objection before the jury is sworn. I hear thunder again. Is it? No, it might be a plane. Here the record shows that Adelson's counsel failed to make the second objection. While counsel renewed the motion during the jury selection process, he did not renew the motion again, nor did he accept the panel subject to his previous objection before the jury was sworn. So this issue is unpreserved. Even if we were to review his claim for fundamental error, Adelson did not meet his burden to show that the trial court fundamentally erred when it denied his motion to strike the jury panel. As we will explain, none of these statements were sufficiently prejudicial to warrant striking the jury panel. As to the factual statements, the record shows that one prospective juror reported that someone in the assembly room said They thought it was the FSU professor, and that the case was about the murder of the professor. The prospective juror added that she believed that they had kids. I think it was a divorce. The same prospective juror reported that one person said, "We're screwed because we're going to be here all day." A different prospective juror represented that individuals had been talking about the case the entire day. For the statement of one near member to taint the panel, that member must mention facts that would not otherwise be presented to the jury. None of the prospective jurors reported anyone in that assembly room discussing details of the case, much less details that would not later be revealed at trial. Thus, none of these factual statements were so prejudicial as to taint the veneer. As to the legal conclusions, the record shows that one prospective juror reported to the court that she heard someone in the assembly room state that he believed that Adelson was guilty, and yet another prospective juror reported that she heard someone say, "I think he did it." But the expression of a prospective juror's opinion generally is insufficient to taint the remainder of the veneer. Okay. Prospective jurors are frequently exposed before and after voir dire to innumerable comments, attitudes, and points of views, the subscription to which would be improper for an unbiased juror. The trial court is in the best position to determine whether such statements tainted the entire jury panel by questioning the remaining non-offending prospective jurors. What's more, Adelson concedes that the trial court removed for cause any prospective jurors who admitted to talking about the case, but he suggests that this remedy was insufficient because it was unknown how many members of the veneer were exposed to conversations in the assembly room about the case. But the trial court afforded defense counsel the opportunity to review the recordings of the jury assembly room for this exact reason, and counsel declined the offer. Based on this record, the defense failed to show that any statements made in the juror assembly room tainted the jury panel, and thus the trial court did not fundamentally err when it denied the motion to strike the panel. Finding no error by the trial court, the judgment and sentence are affirmed. Sorry, Charlie, tricks are for kids. That's it. Winokur and M.K. Thomas, J.J. Dynamite. If you get that, you're old. Concur. Okay. This is the stuff that defense will always try to pose. It hardly ever gets past the judge. Exactly. And the reason Murdaugh did is because you got Becky Hill to thank on that one. And the judge was made a fundamental error in Letitia Stout, and that's why she has a new trial. They should not have. That was just dumb about the juror. So, yep-ree. That's why they got it. But very, very rarely do appeals work. Very rarely. Very rarely. Carmelo's appeal is not going to... what do you think about that case? Are you following that, Addie? That Carmelo Anthony? I have seen, like, the most disgusting things posted about, like... I don't even understand what planet these people are from that think he's innocent. And then they go on to implicate his brother. They implicate... I mean, it's just disgusting. They should be off. That is just so wrong. Yeah, it's nice to see Addie here. She wants to come up. You have seen cases that do lean to defense. Really? So, yeah, how many people here want to see Addie come up on a panel and discuss either a case or some of the stuff that she's seen or whatever? Right? Let her know that. Let's see what's going on. Well, oh, there's another earthquake in Venezuela, right? Did I see that? I never even got to tell you what. Yeah, it was. I told her I went swimming today. I did tell you that. And then we had to go pick up my car because it had to go in and get the front brakes and rotors. I think I told you that, right? That we dropped it off last night. Well, it was ready today, so we picked it up. And we stopped and got something quick. And then we came home, and Ethan was playing the guitar for a long time. And we were just hanging out. And then I was catching up on Adelson and Guthrie and all the time. Oh, I'll let her. No problem. Yeah, I know you're supposed to be telling her how much you want her to go up. Okay, so let me see. What is your Addie? What is your I don't know if you say favorite case, but what is the case you have the most passion for that has been to trial and everything has been done with it? And then what is the case that you have the most passion for that is going to trial? Mr. Wu would be proud of me asking these favorite questions. Okay, I'm going to just look for something while you answer that. I just thought my stomach is growling, if you hear my stomach. I don't know why, because I ate. I didn't drink. No, I did. Look, I did drink. I had there goes my ibuprofen. I had a whole iced coffee. And guess what? Our ice maker is not working. Isn't that? That's not nice. Not nice. But hold on. Let me see this. Grandma suspected of fatally poisoning her daughter and grandkids. Oh, this is the one that killed the 4 kids. She poisoned them. And she was remembered in a stone-cold 2-line obituary. Let's see what they put about her. The grandmother, suspected of poisoning her daughter, 4 grandchildren in her upstate New York home before taking her own life, was only remembered by her surviving family in a brutal 2-sentence obituary. Amy J. Stedman, 64 years old, passed away on Tuesday, June 23, 2026. For the request of the family, services were held privately. Oh, that's it. That's all the obituary that she got. So I wonder what she did, you know. A handwritten note was found at Stedman's home, strongly suggesting that she poisoned the 4 before she took her own life. There is recovered evidence inside the apartment that includes intentional poisoning with numerous prescriptions and over-the-counter medication. The deaths are all pending additional toxicology testing, and one of the children was also stabbed in the murder, which was possibly sparked over rage that the grandchildren's father recently was gaining custody. The children's devastated dad, Brady Harmon, was in a custody battle with Myers and had planned to take them with him back to Utah for the summer. Well, yeah, so she killed her daughter and her 4 grandchildren. Her and Myers married in 2015, but separated 4 years later Wait a second. Oh, she had twins. She has 13-year-old, 11-year-old, and 10-year-old twins. So they married in 2015, and in 4 years, they had 4 kids. 2015, maybe let's say 2017. Yeah. Okay. A year later. Yeah, that seems fast, but wow. He had previous concerns about his children's safety before the tragedy, which he described as horrendous. The system is broken. It takes way too long to get anything done. I spent 6.5 years fighting to be able to have access to my kids. My concern right now is being able to bring my kids home and have them away from those 2 monsters that did this to them. He added about Myers and Stedman. So they're saying that the mother, too, of the kids was involved. I don't know. I didn't see that in the reports, but I guess he's thinking that, huh? Let's see. What else we have? Lunatic mom claimed her twins died of vaccine injuries and now she's charged with killing them. What is with these people killing their kids? 23 years old. I just don't get it. I don't get why they even have these kids. And if they don't want these kids, seriously, there are oh my gosh, so many people that would. A deranged Idaho mother claimed her twins died over a year ago of vaccine injuries. She's been charged in their deaths now. Andrea Shaw, 23, was indicted by a grand jury on 2 counts of first-degree murder Monday in connection, Addie, I'm coming back to read you in a minute, with the deaths of 18-year-old twins Dallas and Tyson in May of 2025, according to the Payette Police Department. Payette. Shaw's toddlers were discovered dead in their shared bed in the Northgate Mobile Park, sparking police to launch a homicide investigation. The mother appeared on a podcast with her husband, Nathaniel Shaw, in the days after the brother and sister were allegedly murdered, and she claimed that vaccines were responsible for their deaths. She went on a podcast. I wonder what one that was. I wonder if she was like in the Lori Vallow. Imagine if she was on Lori Vallow's podcast, but she was already in prison. Shaw told the podcast, hosted by the anti-vaccine nonprofit Children's Health Defense, which was previously chaired by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, that the twins' health took a turn for the worse after they received the flu, hepatitis A, and DTaP vaccines. Shaw said that her husband's side of the family all had bad reactions or are allergic to the flu shot, and she said the twins were okay and took a nap when they got home. She then sobbed and said that when the children woke up the next day, she noticed they appeared unwell, tired, and had blue lips. I changed her diaper, and I noticed that typical toddler potbelly was gone. She was skinny, and she looked tired, Shaw said. Tyson looked worse than Dallas, the mom recalled, stating his eyes were sunken back with black dark circles. Nathaniel said he was at work when the twins became unwell, with his mother later coming to rush the children to the hospital. The anti-vax mom posted family photos and wholesome content on her social media. Her social media accounts appeared to have been scrubbed from the internet as of Wednesday evening. Shaw was cuffed on Tuesday afternoon by officers in Boise and booked into the Ada County Jail. Oh, she was right there, Ada County Jail. Wait a minute, Ada County Jail is Koberger's thing, right? Wait a minute. Ada County? No, that's from Vallow was Ada. Who was in? Yes. Fallow and Daybell, right? Let me just make sure. Yes. Ada County Jail. Yep. I wonder, could she have been listening to Lori's podcast? Oh my gosh. I wouldn't doubt it. Okay. Ada County Jail as she awaits extradition to pay at a small city near the Oregon border. Authorities have not yet released a cause of death for the twins and said the mom's arrest came after a lengthy and thorough multi-agency investigation. Her attorney, Joseph Filicetti, said that he believes the twins died from vaccines. They were looking at it as a vaccine death, and that's still what I believe it to be. I'm not a medical expert, but the medical experts I have go through a series of steps when looking at different complications. He added that he was shocked by the indictment. Said the couple has been complying with law enforcement. They've been in the area for over a year, knowing something could happen, and they didn't run. Filcietti said that Shaw had recently given birth to a premature newborn baby who is being taken care of by her husband. So she went to kill those toddlers and then went on to have another baby. Oh my goodness. They had a child born on June 25th. She's nursing and using bottle feeding, and now she's in a jail. So she just had a baby on June 25th. And when was she arrested? Oh my gosh. It's crazy. All right, let me go back and see what Batty answered me about that. Let's see. Let me see. The biggest trial I covered when I was with Law and Crime outside of Johnny Depp was Murdaugh trial. But the one that hurt my heart the most was Gannon Stauch trial. I know someone who is friends with the family. Hi, B lady. That was the custody arrangement. She had the children during school time and he had them during the summer. But you know what, B lady? He hadn't seen his children, I believe, since 2019. If I remember correctly from last night. I wonder if the mother knew what the grandmother was doing. I don't know. I wonder if they all became insane in some manner, like that lady in Mass. Well, do you think she's insane? Idaho is near you, Addie, really? But Addie, did you tell me what is the trial coming up that you are, like, I guess, have the most interest in seeing play out? You grew up not too far from Mechanicsville? Oh, you were born and raised in Troy. I gotcha. Hiya, Heart Maywise. Okay, let me go on to see what else we have here, because there was... So this case is... Crazy Cakes. A New Jersey psychotherapist who just welcomed a baby is ID'd as a fatal stabbing victim. Oh, this is the one in New Jersey that I was going to tell you about the other day, and it was almost like it was being hidden from the news. It's crazy, and now it's out, I see. Okay, hold on. Let me make her a little smaller. Okay. Brooke, and she has a connection to somebody in politics. Hanlon, 35, was stabbed to death inside her home in Chester, New Jersey on the afternoon of June 6th. Emergency responders rushed to her house. It was roughly 40 miles west of New York City at 4:30 p.m. for a call about a woman suffering from cardiac arrest. The dispatcher later informed the responding units that the unidentified caller did advise that they had a large laceration on the breast. An individual performed CPR on Hanlon, but she died at the scene. Her death was ruled a homicide by multiple sharp force injuries, according to Morris County Medical Examiner's Office. The mother worked as a psychotherapist at Life Stance, an in-person and a telehealth behavioral health center in Bernardsville. Her LinkedIn described her as having diverse experience in various settings working with children, adolescents, and families in need of counseling. Her husband, James, posted a smiling Facebook photo with their newborn in front of a Christmas tree in December of 2025. Yeah, this is her and her husband and their little child, who is blurred out for. Right there. Okay, and let's see here. No arrests have been made in the puzzling murder, and prosecutors and police stressed an investigation remains active and ongoing. It's almost a month now and no arrests made. No further information can be released at this time in order to protect the integrity of the investigation, the prosecutor's office said. Now hold on, because I know when I first saw this case, she has a tie to somebody, okay? It's the psychotherapist stabbed to death inside a ritzy, New Jersey suburb last month, with investigators only identifying her this week as they desperately search for the killer. But last couple of weeks ago, they did have some people, I think, in social media were identifying her. But let me just see if I can find what they said. She was, there was some tie to something. So let me see here. Let's see. Here's something missing. Morris County Prosecutor's Office. Law enforcement officials are asking for the public's assistance as they continue to investigate the death of Brooke Hanlon and any suspicious activity that may have occurred in the area of Pottersville Road in Chester on June 6, 2026. The appeal for information comes from the Chester Police Department, the Morris County Sheriff's Office, and the Morris County Prosecutor's Office, who are jointly investigating the case. Officials are urging anyone who may have information regarding Hanlon's death or who observed suspicious activity in the Pottersville Road area on June 6th to come forward. Members of the public can provide information anonymously through the Morris County Sheriff's Crime Stoppers program. Authorities noted that callers will not be asked to identify themselves, and tips that lead to significant developments in the investigation may be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. Tips can be submitted by calling 973-COP-CALL, COPCALL, or through the Crime Stoppers website and mobile reporting app. Investigators have not released additional details regarding the circumstances surrounding Hanlon's death, but emphasize that even information that may seem insignificant could prove valuable to the investigation. Anyone who was in the area of Pottersville Road in Chester on June 6th or who may have witnessed unusual activity is encouraged to contact investigators. And I can't remember who they said that Let me see if I can see. Trying to see if I can find it because it was around last week, the week before. It's raising alarms. Yeah, it's been tight-lipped. It has been. But that's so weird because it's almost like they scrubbed it from the internet. Very weird. Okay. We'll have to see what comes with that. I don't know. It's very strange. Let's see. Boyfriend accused of stabbing defense tech 15 times. Woman allegedly murdered by her teen daughter. Oh my goodness. Reminds me, there was an adoption case where the daughter killed the mother or the mother killed the... Long Island PhD student allegedly murdered by obsessed brother-in-law. Obsessed brother-in-law. What the heck that happened there? Is this her obsessed brother-in-law? This is crazy. Obsessed brother-in-law right there. Joseph Horner. Didn't we know a Joseph Horner? Oh, wait a minute. What was the one that killed that little girl, the FedEx guy? He was a Horner, wasn't he? Oh, what was his first name? Oh my goodness. The little girl with the blonde hair. I think her middle name was Monroe. Presley, was it? Presley. Hold on a minute. Tanner Lynn Horner. Yeah, that was a Horner. Athena Strand. Athena Strand, killed by Tanner Lynn Horner, and this guy is Joseph Horner. Okay, let's see what happened here. A Long Island doctoral student was allegedly arred and strangled to death by her obsessed brother-in-law. She gushed over him as one of the most wonderful people in the world in a haunting Facebook post after he married her sister. She said, and I quote, "My sister, my person, my partner in chaos is now married to one of the most wonderful people in the world." That's what Victoria Castle said in a message that accompanied a photo of now her accused killer, Joseph Horner, sharing a post-nuptials kiss at their wedding venue. "I love you both forever." And now the post has taken a dark new meaning following her horrific death. Let's see here. Victoria Castle and her sister on her sibling's wedding day. Hold on, this is so this is the sister. Okay. Let's see. Less than 3 years later, Horner, who's 27, stands accused of Castle's brutal murder. He essayed her and then strangled her while his wife was away on a bachelorette trip. Oh my gosh. Isn't that just horrendous? Prosecutors said as arraignment that Horner was obsessed with Castle for more than 10 years before the vicious attack, and he lusted over her for nearly a decade. The attack allegedly took place in their shared North Massapequa home on June 29th. Horner, a music teacher in the Oceanside School District, lived in the upstairs apartment of the multifamily house with his wife, while Castle lived in the ground floor unit, according to the Nassau County District Attorney's Office. That is horrendous. So this guy was a teacher. He lived above her, obsessed over her for 10 years. Oh my goodness. Here's another picture of Victoria Castle. He allegedly asked Castle, who's a PhD student at Stony Brook University, to help him move a piano before he attacked her from behind, placing her in a chokehold until she went limp, at which point he stripped her naked and essayed her. Oh my gosh. Afterwards, he called 911 and waited for the police to show up, admitted to detectives that he had committed the heinous act. Oh my gosh. He was arrested for homicide at the scene. He was charged with second-degree murder. How was he charged with second-degree murder? He asked her to move for a piano. He knew. Are you kidding? On a felony complaint and is being held without bail. I am absolutely sick to my stomach, said someone who went to college with Victoria on Instagram. She was such a beautiful soul and incredibly intelligent. This is a heartbreaking tragedy. In another online post, Sierra Coletti, a teacher who knew Horner's family, expressed shock over the grisly turn of events. I grew up close to his family, and I'm shocked and sickened by what he did to this beautiful girl, wrote Coletti, who now lives in Texas. Never in a million years would I think he'd be capable of something like this. But guess you never really know someone. And then on Wednesday, the Oceanside School District said Horner had been placed on indefinite leave pending an investigation. Nassau County officials indicated that these charges have no connection to the school district or its students. I recognize this news is extremely disturbing, and I want to communicate with you directly. So, this is crazy. So now the sister's at a bachelorette party. She comes home, her sister's been killed, and it's her husband that did it. I wonder if they have any children. What a crazy thing. Oh my goodness. Joseph Horner. Let's look into him a little bit, shall we? All right, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. His attorney speaks. Hold on a second. Let's see what is it now. Let's see what it's. Accused killer Joseph Horner's attorney speaks on behalf of the Oceanside music teacher. The allegations are very severe. They're very disturbing, says Gregory Grisopoulos. And that is very much in stark contrast to the reputation Joe Horner has as a teacher in the community. Let me see what's going on here. Is that all you're saying? Oh, no. Oh, now, remember he said he did this? Now he's pled not guilty Tuesday to murdering the 25-year-old woman, a Stony Brook University PhD student who was found not breathing by police Monday morning in a ground floor apartment attached to a home on North Oak Street. Nassau County Assistant District Attorney Alexandra DiPaolo said Horner, who lives in an upstairs apartment at the same home, asked the victim for help moving a piano before attacking her from behind without warning and unprovoked, and he placed her in a chokehold until she lost consciousness. DiPaolo further alleged that Horner then essayed the woman while she was passed out, changed his clothes, and called 911 to report she wasn't breathing. She wasn't passed out, she was dead, because officers performed CPR and rushed her to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. Horner was then arrested at the scene, and is being held without bail. He faces up to 25 years to life in prison if convicted. Now, here's Horner's defense attorney, Gregory Grisopoulos, spoke with Greater Long Island Today and pushed back on the portrait painted by prosecutors of his client. Joe's a 27-year-old teacher at Oceanside who has a great reputation among fellow teachers and students. That's a stark contrast to these allegations. Grisopoulos acknowledged the severity of what his client is accused of, but he stopped short of addressing the specifics, saying he has not yet reviewed the full body of evidence. The allegations are obviously very significant. They're very severe. They're very disturbing. And that is very much in stark contrast to the reputation Joe Horner has as a teacher in the community. His attorney said his understanding of events is that Horner indeed called 911 and was sitting outside waiting for the police to arrive, a detail he suggested could be relevant as the case unfolds. What he said and under what conditions he made any statements to the police, we don't know yet. Grisopoulos. On the living arrangement of the house, his attorney said his understanding is that Horner and his wife of 3 years lived in an upstairs apartment, while the victim lived alone in the downstairs unit, and the families otherwise had a close relationship. They all had a great relationship, from my understanding. Chryssopoulos said he plans to investigate further as evidence is turned over to prosecutors in the coming weeks and months. The investigation closed off the North Massapequa neighborhood for the entire day Monday. Police held a press briefing Tuesday morning to detail the case, though detectives have not disclosed a motive. Yeah, but they said he was obsessed with her for 10 years. Horner has taught music at North Oceanside Road Elementary School, number 5, since 2022. Oceanside Superintendent of Schools Phyllis Harrington confirmed the arrest in a statement, saying Nassau County officials indicated the charges have no connection to the school district or its students. Horner has been placed on administrative leave effective immediately, pending further review. We understand this news is deeply disturbing. The Oceanside School District is committed to maintaining a safe, professional, and trustworthy environment for our students, staff, and community, and we stand by that commitment at all times. Oh, guys, did you see what happened on the Empire State Building today? That was crazy. We're going to see where those people are now. The Skywalkers, they have a Netflix, and they have an Instagram, and he proposed to her. It's just crazy what they did. Okay, what do you got there? Hi, Ari. How are you? How's it going? Who could possess someone to do something like that? Not just lust, I believe that, says Heart Made Wise. Is he claiming not guilty? No, we don't know what he's claiming. He's just claiming not guilty. It's a house, B-Lady, a house on Long Island. It was like a 2-family house on Long Island. I can show you the house. Let me see. Here, I'll show you the house. Right there. Right there. It's a 2-family house. It's not, I don't even know of the, well, it had an apartment on the ground floor, it says, because they might have converted it. I don't know. Maybe it was the girl's parents' house, and maybe they just converted it for the two of them to live there, her in the ground floor and him, because it looked like her and her sister were pretty close. And then her sister goes to a bachelorette party, and this guy kills her. I mean, oh my gosh. What did I want to find out? If they have any children, right? Okay, let's see. Joseph Horner. Let me look at something, because there was something in the comments. Let me see. All right, let me look. I just want to see if I can. A real life nightmare. Oh, here's another. Look at this. See, they were very, very close, and he probably, who knows, did he marry, I don't know. How was he close to like all of them? We don't know how that plays out, right? Let's see here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Move a piano. It looks like, oh my gosh, it looks like, hold on a second. I'm trying to get this, hang on a sec. There's a picture, looks like he and his wife went to Ithaca, which is a college in the state of New York. And they said he was 27, she was 25, right? Isn't that what? Hang on a minute. Let me just go to something here. Hold on. I've got to show you a picture. Hang on one second. I'm going to put this over here and show this to you. Okay. Download. See, they have the Ithaca alumni shirts on. And what does that say? Grad. What does that say? Let me see. What year is that? Class of. Huh. Hang on, let me see if I can figure this out here. Let me see. Music teacher murdered his own sister-in-law, Victoria Castle. All right, let me... Let's see. Okay, he's 27, she's 25. So I wonder if they all grew up together or something, because how... Okay, let's see what this is. Victoria Castle was a self-described professional rock lover and elder emu who skydived, dressed up elaborately for Comic-Con, excavated rock formations across the globe, and presented academic research at Oxford University, all while pursuing a PhD in geology at Stony Brook University. Castle, 25, has now been identified by Nassau police as the victim in what prosecutors have described as a dark and unprovoked attack inside a North Massapequa home, allegedly at the hands of her 27-year-old brother-in-law, an Oceanside music teacher, Joseph Horner. Okay, they're saying, hold on, they've given me an Instagram account. Let me... get on that. A pro rock lover, a genealogy PhD student. Okay, and it looks like... Let me see if there's... Let me pull her Instagram over there. Well, here's the picture of them. Okay, let's look at this. This is from 319 weeks ago. Happy graduation. Happy graduation. Someone said an hour ago, they wrote, "This world hurts my soul. Mental health is real. Please be aware of everybody, please. Prayers for your entire family. This picture crushed me. You're forever beautiful. I apologize for the sickness, devil. God has judgment in court and out. Karma will get him." Someone said, "Happy graduation to Allie and Joey. So proud of you both. You're going to do amazing things." Allie and Joey, so they both graduated from Ithaca. 319 weeks ago. It's 212 weeks ago. "91 weeks ago. "2 weeks ago. She said, not to be unironically emo, Warped Tour will forever mean so much to me. If the emo kid in me could see us still tearing it up at 25 while becoming the person she had no idea we could be. No, it was never a phase. Shout out. Cheers to community music." Oh, wow. Somebody wrote something so disgusting here. You cannot, the depravity of people out there, it's just disgusting. It really makes me scared for humanity that people are so disgusting. Someone said, what did they say? "Sweet, beautiful girl, this never should have happened to you. You had such a beautiful soul, a brilliant mind, and countless amazing qualities that made you so special. I feel incredibly lucky to have known you and shared part of my college journey with you. You did not deserve this. My heart is absolutely breaking for your family, your partner, and everyone who loved you. Sending my deepest love, prayers, and condolences during this unimaginable time. May you rest in eternal peace, beautiful girl. You will never be forgotten." Someone said, "Rest in peace, Victoria. You are the most inspiring person to be around. When I'm teaching about rocks and geology, history, I'm thinking of you." Terrible. Someone, and then, oh, Brooklyn Glass. She was at Brooklyn Glass. Crazy. She likes gaming. I guess she was on Twitch. If that's her. Okay, that's terrible. All right, now wait a second. I want to look at something here. So her Instagram account paints the portrait of a young woman who looked to squeeze joy out of every season. Posts show her hiking in Georgia, vacationing at Epcot in Orlando, walking through a jungle in Brazil as part of her studies, exploring the Poconos, visiting London. In October 2024, she was photographed presenting a paper at Oxford University, a milestone that she beamed with pride over. At Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, she posted photos set to Metallica's Enter Sandman, a nod perhaps to the elder emo and unironically emo labels she proudly wore. In San Antonio and Waco, Texas, in Brazil, and in Huntsville, Alabama, her field work took her to all corners of the country and across continents, and she documented it all with tremendous enthusiasm. It became a diary of sorts of someone who loved what she did. Wow. She was a cosplay fanatic. She also knew how to cut loose at New York Comic-Con. At the Javits Center in October of 2025, she appeared in multiple elaborate costumes. That's so funny because Jimmy was in the city when that was going on, and people were passing him. Yeah, this is it right there, the Comic-Con. She was first up as Adam Eve and then Violet Sorrengal. She also costumed up the year before at Comic-Con, flashing her passion for fantasy and sci-fi fandoms. On Valentine's Day, she posted about being on cloud nine about a new romantic relationship, spending the day with that special person. And back in 2023, she shared a series of photos celebrating her sister's Allie's wedding, saying, "My sister, my person, my partner in chaos." Oh yeah, let's see. Where did we miss the wedding? Oh, right here. Yeah, my sister, my person, my partner in chaos is now married to one of the most wonderful people in the world. I love you both forever. And that was, someone said, so insane and unbelievable to think that 3 years later this man would take your life. Rest in peace. And there she is right over there fixing her sister's dress. But they also have a link to his Instagram. Let's see if you know what his Instagram is. Joepotamus. Oh, look, they took it down. His Instagram is gone. His lawyers probably got it down because they don't want anybody scouring it for information there, right? Okay, let's see what else we have. Authorities noted that Castle and Horner had known each other for roughly a decade, since around the time he first met Allie, who he married 3 years ago. They live in the same two-family home on North Oak Street in North Massapequa. So he met the sister 10 years ago when she was 15 years old. So he's lusted after her since she was 15. And what made him act on it right then and there after, I mean, I'm sure they've been home alone before, right? Hudson, New York. Someone said killer on slide 17. Oh, right there. Is that him? Terrible. Let's see what else. I wonder. Hold on one second. I want to look at one thing here. Where is... certain picture? Where the heck is that picture I'm looking for? Oh, this one. Let me see something here. So her sister's Instagram says probably teaching music. So I wonder if she was a music teacher as well, right? Reading about vampires or playing D&D. Okay, so let me just see one thing here. So let's see. Yeah, that's a shame. Okay, let me go to your chat. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I need a third monitor. Bee Lady, I need a third monitor. Good night, Bee Lady. It's almost 3 a.m. Yeah, I'm just going to do, I'm going to tell you about where the people that climb the Empire State Building are tonight, and then we're going to do word cookies. So let's do this. Okay, they had a Jimi Hendrix quote on the top. When the power of love becomes more than the love of power, right? Then until that happens, we won't have peace. Something like that. Okay. Let's see what happened to these daredevils. Daredevil couple climbs to the top of the Empire State Building with a pro-peace banner and gets engaged. It was scary, I tell you. Watching that was scary. Jimmy's like, oh, they do it all the time. I don't care. That was freaking. They don't climb the Empire State Building all the time. At one point, it looked like she was having a little trouble, and he went back up and helped her. I don't know. That would scare the absolute crap out of me, because you're up, and then if you're like, whoa, like, where are you going? You're in trouble. Yeah, when the power of love beats the love of power, the world. When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. The banner is a take on the quote frequently attributed to guitarist Jimi Hendrix, but actually spoken by the 19th century British politician William Gladstone. Police took some time to attempt to talk them down, but they apparently had a mission. After spending some time at the top, the couple started climbing down a short time later. They stopped, and he proposed to her, pulling out a ring. After saying yes, she admired the engagement ring and wore it as they climbed down. They said she was doing Instagram stories the whole time. The couple was also capturing their adventure with their own camera and posted it for the world to see, including images of the proposal and the ring. At least 2 members of NYPD's highly trained emergency services unit was harnessed in and climbed up to meet the suspects halfway and placed them into custody just before 1 p.m. Yeah, we were watching this live. Ethan and I were watching this live today. And first off, it was like, how'd they even get there? But second of all, she was posting the stories, and they are the Sky, what are they, Skywalkers? There's some Netflix documentary about them, and there's body camera footage of NYPD. Let me see if hold on a sec. One of the members who helped with the rescue just graduated from ESU school on Monday. The ESU school members were never exposed to the elements when performing the rescue. Oh, let me tell you that they said that in there, since it's a transmission tower and stuff, they could literally be exposed to the microwaves, and not to the microwaves, but it would cook them the way from the inside out. One of the guys that was saying the way a microwave oven would. And they're definitely not allowed to have masks, and they don't know how this happened, right? How the heck did this happen? But let me, yeah, they got arrested right inside there. Okay. Let me see here what else we got. And I want to see where they are now. Here, I'll show you their... They didn't show you their freaking propose. This is where you proposed to her, though, when they got down to this platform. But she needed some help getting down there, so I was worried. Oh my gosh, don't fall. But it is, ahead of July 4th and Taylor Swift's wedding, and... it's a big security breach, big one. But that's how it always works, right? And see, they had this thing that was recording them. I thought, wow, that could just fall right off there. It's crazy. The NYPD is now reviewing surveillance from the Empire State Building. They believe that the two entered through a locked maintenance hatch on the 102nd floor observation deck and had likely been observing staff movements. How they got the door open is now a major part of the investigation. Julie Morris was on the observation deck when she spotted someone going through what appeared to be an off-limits area. Well, I was on the top, the very top, along with these two people. And these two people opened the mesh. I assume they work there, and nobody stopped them. The dangerous stunt also forced some people to evacuate the building. They're just keeping us inside, but they let us out for maybe 2 minutes, said a witness. I got a few videos and pictures of the people up there, but then a few cops came out and immediately made us go inside. Dozens of tourists could be seen on the observation deck from Newscopter 7. At first it was kind of comical and seemed a little bit wild and crazy, and then I'll be honest, once you're out on the observation deck, I was like, I feel like we shouldn't be out here. It didn't really feel like super safe. There were also tourists waiting to reach the observation deck who never made it. We tried seeing something, but from the 86th floor, it's kind of hard, says a witness. We just saw the commotion and the NYPD coming up. And then we were like, yeah, I guess we better get off. The people working inside the building also watched it unfold before their eyes as the suspects were escorted out. I said to my daughter, I'm like, wow, what were those people in the Empire State Building? And she was like, like another day in New York. It was like no biggie. And a lot there were New Yorkers like that they were interviewing, and they're it's another day in New York. In a statement, the Empire State Building wrote, there was at no time danger to tenants, visitors, and Empire State Building observation deck guests. It is to be emphasized that the Empire State Building observation deck, atop the world's most famous building in the center of New York City, does offer a practical way for the most memorable marriage proposals. Daredevils have previously climbed the antenna and other parts of the Empire State Building. Those ascents have been largely unauthorized, but actor and musician Jared Leto was allowed to climb up to the base of the antenna from the 86th floor in 2023 to promote a tour. Let's see. Now, where are these guys? So let's see where they are. She's 33 and he's 32. They were hit with numerous charges, including burglary, reckless endangerment, criminal mischief, violation of local laws, possessions of burglars' tools, criminal tampering, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. They were walked out of an NYPD police precinct in Midtown on Wednesday night. Huh. Okay, let me see something here. They are the Skywalkers. Let me look at their Instagram here, okay? Skywalkers. Well, they didn't even get a lot of, I don't even think they got a lot of subs. Because I think that's what they had when I saw them earlier, 8,000 or something. Okay, let's see. Skywalker's love story. Maybe that, oopsie, what happened? That's maybe the page for the documentary. I think that's what, I think that's what that is. That's not her personal page, hang on. But see, they do this all over the place. A love story. And it's on Netflix. So, documentary by Jeff Zimbalist at Tripping Maria about the fear of falling in love. Okay, well that's that. Let me see. Where's her? Okay, I found it. Hang on. And they had the masks on, and it was like over 100 degrees, okay? Here they are. See, she was posting as they were doing this. On July 1st, let's see, known for starring in this documentary. Let's see what they're doing here. Scaled the Empire State Building and flew a banner with the caption, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world will know peace." Following this, he proposed to her, to which she accepted. The two were later arrested and facing possible charges of burglary, reckless endangerment, criminal trespass, and more. That's written by an Instagram user. She just posted Empire State Building, New York. Someone said, imagine if his hands were shaking and he dropped the diamond. Someone said, you just ruined proposals for the rest of us, guys. I can't believe you made it up there without breaking a single nail. Wow, look at that. That is pretty amazing, pretty scary, and pretty crazy. But yeah, they do this all over. Oh my gosh. I could never lay down. I get so sick like that if I lay down. Do you know, once like in high school, you know the bleachers, right? We would go to the top, and then once during lunch, you'd lay down on it, and I felt like you're floating because you can't see it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be sick. So I can't even imagine doing that. And I'm not like, I just don't like it that I know it would be swaying. I've climbed over cable bridges. I've helped people across them in Frost Valley, which is up here, and they're high, and that bridge was swaying like crazy, and this little girl was crying her eyes out. And I was trying to make her go across, and because we had no other way to go, and I got her across there, but we had to go so slow that then I was starting to end up feeling really sick. I wanted to get like over to the other side, and I was up there for so long. Yeah, it was nuts. A lot of people couldn't do it when we went back. They had to turn back, and I didn't have any problem with that cable bridge, but she just had me on it for so long. You got to balance your feet on the cable, and then you had two cables on either side. And the kids were in 5th grade. It was Alexandra's class trip there, and I was the chaperone, and I was with these other guys that were, and then they started shaking it to think it was really funny. I'm like, you guys better stop that. But I got her across. Wasn't my daughter. It was that my daughter was already my daredevil. She was already right across. Look at that. That's so crazy. Makes me want to watch that on Netflix now, right? Doesn't it? Look at that stuff. That is just crazy, crazy. Oh. She said, this is the building I'm standing on. I was where the white arrow shows. My way was not easy, though. I used the elevator until the orange arrow swiped to see the details. And then the real challenge began. I was standing there and looking at these 4M high, super smooth walls with no space to hold and climb. But I didn't give up, and I looked for other ways. And finally I found a small hole in a wall, and I was able to squeeze myself inside. I found huge scaffolding inside, and I had to lift myself to the bar and then stand on it, raise my hands, grab the next bar, lift myself, and so it went. And when I reached the glass dome, I was so happy, and I believed it would be easy from now on. Imagine my horror when I saw the dome was filled with spiders and their webs. I am afraid of spiders, and it was a nightmare for me, but I went through it. I was so close to the spire. I went through this nightmare, and there I was, sending you love from the heights, dropping this one today. I don't know what the heck she's talking about. That's crazy. That is just crazy stuff. Oh my gosh, I can't. That's like laying on that bleacher. Just said it wasn't even that. That just disorient. Like, it makes me feel sick. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what that makes me feel so sick. That feeling where you just ugh. Okay, well, I don't know what's going to happen with them. I think everybody's pretty happy for them, but they can't condone that kind of stuff, and the way it was. So I don't know what is going to happen with them. Okay, now it's time for word cookies. What happened, George? Whoopsie. Hold on, let's see what George said. Hi, Maria Kitty Cats. How are you? You don't see anybody chatting? There was a lot of people here, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning, honey. People are probably laying down. George says, because they don't enjoy life. What do you mean, George? I think it's great that they can do that. I feel scared for them. I just can't stand like that laying down. I could go on a roof, like a house roof, like sit on like a porch roof, maybe even the top roof, but I can't lay down like that. It just is something in me. If I feel like, I just remember, I'm telling you, I remember the bleachers when I was a senior in high school. We went there, we're eating lunch out there, and we're on the top, and we said, oh, it's nice, so just lay back. And we laid on you know how narrow a bleacher is, right? And you're on the top one. So if you're laying back on it, you can't see anything, but you see the sky. And I said, oh, guys, I think I'm going to be sick. This is scary. And then I set up, and I remember forever that feeling, and I don't want to be like, when I look at them, how they're just, when she lays down like that, oh my gosh, I just get that feeling all over again. I think it's great, George, that they did it. I think it's a security breach for the city. I don't think they did any, like they were going to do anything wrong. And it's a beautiful story and a beautiful thing that they did. But New York City can't you have that. What if the next time it's, not somebody, that's what I mean. They're not even supposed to have masks, and they don't even know, and they don't even understand how they got the masks in there. Dookie! I asked for you. I've been asking for you. I said, where are you? Where are you? You've been following a God channel, and he goes live all night. I still miss this chat. Dookie! You know what? It was so nice because Jet Set, remember I asked for everybody? Jet Set said she's been going through some issues, and that's why she's not here. Please pray for her, for Jet Set. She answered me today. You guys heard me. You really did. And then Anne, remember I asked for Anne? And she said she's going to revisit that comment, but she was taking a friend for surgery. And I appreciate all of you letting me know where you guys were, because we miss you over here. And thanks for coming in and telling me where you are, because, Dookie, I ask for you every, where's my, I miss my, bling. You gotta, I know the God channel's great, but, God wants you to come over here and see us too. Say hello. I'm glad you came over tonight. And then Ziggy, where's Ziggy? And Zigzag, I'm sorry. Zigzag, but a lot of you answered me, and I thought that was really cool. Today, yeah, a lot of you answered, and it's like, I'm here, and I appreciate that. Same goes to wingsuit. What does that mean, wingsuit, hun? George, I'm not following you. Wingsuit. What is wingsuit? Yeah, no, but I really appreciate it, because that was, that was really funny, because most of the people that I mentioned sent me a message or wrote a comment, and appreciate that. How are you doing, Maria Kitty Cats? We haven't seen you in a while. You okay? Is it hot where you are? Where's Chrissy? Imitate? What did I do? Oh, God bless you too. Time. Is it hot where you are, Dookie? On the shorts, yeah. Yeah, but you got to come see us in the live chat. Just say hi. Hi, George. Welcome. Nice to see you, George. What do you got, mate? Where's Victoria? And Tori? And Heather Snoopy? And Pencella? Linda Uribe? Marianne Fantini? Mary Warren? Come out, wherever you are. All right, let's see here. Isabel, Cato, the Lighty. I know she's got stuff going on. Frilly, thinking of you. Amy, she was in tonight, Justice League. Hello, Debbie. What do we got here now? What do we got? Meat. What did I miss? And then, oh, I know, probably this, right? I think one of you probably put it. One of you probably put it there. And then what else do we have? What do you, oh, Matt, yeah, very good, Murder, very good, Matt. And Mitt, right? Mittens. Yeah, George, you're getting it. We always play the word game at night, George, because dealing with so much crazy, we want to get our mind working, and it's really good for your mind. So let's see what we got here. You were missing last night. Were you missing? No, you came back in, right? No, you came back in. It was the night before, was it? Gas, gin. Are you aging? No, we can't do aging. Causing. Very good, Murder. Oh, nag, right? It's always nag when. What do you have, Dookie? Saucing? Very good. That was an extra word. That's excellent, Dookie. Great. Good job. They found Nancy's mom? No. You mean Savannah's mom? No. Where'd you hear that? Or are you just asking? No, they have not found her. No. I thought you were like, oh, they found Nancy's mom? No. SAG. Hey, look at George. Very good, George. And we have that up there, but you're doing good. Guns says. Very good. Heart. And you have casing. Good, Murder. And sing. Sing a song. Don't worry that it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing. Sing a song. No, there's no H. No H. Sang. Phew. No, you have to have one, you've got to, there's only a CU. You can't do it, like, yeah. Oh, I'm going to sneeze again. Phew. Ethan gets so mad when I hold the sneezes in. He's like, what is that? Don't sneeze like that. Scan, did you have? Oh, yeah, scan. Very good, Murder. Oh, I already did that. I'm saying. Oh yeah, I think we found that. Yeah, that was. Let's see. Excuse me. Oh, I bet it's nags, right? Yes, it is. Oh, we got a special level, Murder. Look at that. It's our lucky day. We're really having a lot of luckies. I got those lottery tickets today, and guess what? It was lucky because they said, you won another lottery ticket. Not on the scratch off, on the Powerball thingy. Wait, how did we get here? I thought we... Oh, this is the new level. What letter did they give us? I wasn't paying attention. We got a V? Yeah, right? Okay. Play with us, Ari, yeah. Made it back a bit late. No, play the game with us, Ari. It's really good. We're still here talking. Don't leave. Don't leave us, Ari. Don't leave us. Caving. Very good. I forgot we had a special level. Why were we back on this game again? See? That's why I say sometimes it wasn't, because that's what I put there and it wasn't there. Peridot-wise, where are you? Who had the mother that the mother would say she would order Cokes for soda, like, we'll have 3 Cokes, but she didn't mean that you'd have Coke. Was that, I forget whose mother that was. Where's Puddin'? Where's Peridot? Debbie D. Let's see. peck. Oh, a deck. And a dock. And a doe. And a codfish. And a pod. Oh no, come on, a pod. No, a pod. Okay, and I want a cup. Nope. Ode to Billy Joe. I tried cop. Cope, says Dookie. Yeah, you're probably right, Dookie. There you are. Code, says Murder. Very good. Doc. Pock, you say? Heart. Very good. Murder. Let's see. Coped. Very good. Pocked. Very good, Heart. Co-ed, says Murder. Oh, nope. Extra word. Deco. Haha, Murder. That one I got before you that time for once. I feel like we had this one yesterday. Some of them I feel like we're doing again. Remember that reef. Referee. And refereed, right? Very good, Murder. Defer, says Heart. Very good. Ouch. And ow, 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 I hurt myself. I hurt myself. Oh, Mary had it? Oh, sorry. Mary had it. Mary had a little... No, sorry. Sorry, Murder. Don't leave because I did that, okay? Don't be like Terry. Let's see. What do you have? Oh, hold on a minute. What do you have there? I don't know, Heart. Let me see something. You're deeply offended, murder? Get over it. Get over it. Let me see here. Reefed. I tried that one. I just tried that one. Reefer, it didn't work. It didn't work. Hello, Jen. You're behind in the chat. You're over it already? Good. Oh my goodness. What do we got here? Freed. Oh, how about a... like the instrument? Oh no. I thought I put freer in there before. What the heck? Wine. Wind. Ending. Order says ending. Very good. Winged. Says heart. Very good. Let's see. Very good. Dane. Very good. Wend and wending. Okay, heart. Good job. A wide, right? And widening says murder. Very good. And winding. I think I got that in there. Yep, heart. Got that in there. And then you have very good heart. Let's see. Wind. Very good murder. Uh-oh. Very good. Widen. Very good. And let's see. D-I. No. D. Oh, 9. 9, 9, 9. Okay. What do you have? Dinge? Alright, now we need all 3-letter words next. 3-letter words, guys. I tried that, Jen. Oh, new. Okay. Got that. Now we just need one more over there. Who got this one? New, we got up there. And dig. Oh, in. That's it. That's the one we need. Who got it? Murder. I said that was hard. We did it. We're special. Barber. Babar. My daughter used to, oh my gosh, that's how she used to pronounce it. Babar. Arturo. Arturo. There was this one we had, and it's crazy. Okay. Barb. Barb! We've got 40 people playing word cookies with us. It's pretty good. Okay. Oh my gosh, my cursor thing is not working. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Oh my gosh, this cursor thing is driving me crazy. I don't know, Mary. Go out and come back in real quick. What's happening? When I type, it adds extra vowels that I don't want. Really? Is it doing that crazy thing where it puts this other thing? I'm telling you, it makes this weird thing, Murder, and then I have to go and click on it, and it translates it into something. I've got to look that up. There's got to be something on YouTube about it, why it's doing that. I don't know. It's crazy. Rusts. Yes, I have rusts in there. Let's see. Stir it up, Ramblers. Trusts. Oh, trust. I did not put trust in. There we go. Oh, the ice maker's working again. Oh my gosh. Thank you, God. Oh my gosh. This is so great. Thank you, God. God is so good. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, let's see now. God has just been doing things for me these last few days that only God could ever do, I think. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, I can't even oh my gosh, I wish I could tell you. All right, let's see what we got here. Because we thought that ice maker, we have to turn it on. Hallelujah. Yeah, and now Jimmy got it working again. Yay! Okay. Sirs. That always reminds me of who's the one that wrote the Sally to this and Charlie Brown? No. Marcy. Tastes terrible, sir. Marcy, stop calling me sir. Oh, Al used to love that one too. Oh, so much. Give me my lawyer. Give me my... Oh, she's... Okay. Please say a prayer for my daughter's cat. She's beside herself. She is absolutely beside herself because the cat has an infection in her nail, and she has the cat in a cone. The cat got an antibiotic shot. The cat has antibiotic cream. The cat has all this stuff on, and her roommate is a vet tech, okay? But she's so afraid, she's paranoid that the infection will go to the bone, and then the cat will have to have that claw. She's like crying over this. So please say a prayer that her cat is okay. She's like out of her mind over this cat right now. My grandcat's Mitch. Thanks, Heart. No, not the claw murder. Like, I guess she means, like, she's afraid that if the infection goes to the bone, it's the nail, right? And that they would have to do, like, what they do when they declaw a cat. And she doesn't want that done. She wants this infection to clear up and the cat to be okay. They're soaking the foot in something, the paw. She got new litter for the box. She cleans the box like crazy. I told her, why don't you put, like, can't the cat wear a little glove? I know it sounds crazy, or a sock, because they have the cat in a cone, so the cat can't lick the paw, but, and I don't know what the cone does, because can't the cat just pick the paw up in front of his face? But anyway, I just think that I said to her the other day, why not put a little sock on the cat or something? Because I said, if the cat is going in the litter box, and then Jimmy even told her, and then they're moving their hand, you know, like, and she's like, the cat hasn't even been going to the bathroom and still not getting better. And she said, but she's going to ask. The first time she thought, like, I was like, oh, I don't think you could do that. The cone is better. I said, no, but maybe the cat needs a little kind of a glove or something on it to keep it, you know, clean, really clean. I know you're, you know, I don't know. Anybody have a cat with a nail infection? It had a nail infection once before, but she said that cleared up, like. She's calling the vet tomorrow. I tried that murder. Oh, it's got to be, no. I tried that. Dookie left without saying goodbye. Not nice, Dookie. Not nice. Don't even ask me. We all got that. You're still there, Dookie. Okay. I'm sorry. Don't get mad now and we'll go away. I just didn't see you. Oh, you're listening to the sweet sounds of playing? Okay. All right. We didn't know where you were. Let's see. Overs. Oh, sear, right? And sears. Soar. Okay. Severe. Sever. Sevel. And then severs. Verse. And then verses, right? Yep. And then, oh, did we get serves? Serve. And, uh-oh. Serves. Okay, and then what did we have? Nope. Okay, I'm trying to look at what else. Oh, wait a minute. How about no. No, wait a minute. What do you have? Let me see. One? Oh. Oh, or, I see. Okay. Oh, oversee, right. Mm-hmm. Servo. Very good. Okay, let's see. Oh, how about Eves? All right, let's see. What do you have? Sir, Seer, yeah, I just got that. Did I just put that in? No, see, what do you got? Seer? Wait a minute. We have Seer. Sees, yeah, I just put that in. We make a great team. What about me? I'm not on the team? That's not nice. That's not nice. Now you put me in the thing that I'm always picked last or something. I want to be on the team. Dookie? Tell Murder I have to be on the team too. I mean, tell Murder I need Dookie. Tell Murder I need to be on the team. That's not nice that I can't be on the team. I'm always in your shadow. I'm included on the team? Thank you. Rose. Hart, do you believe I'm on the team too? Or is Murder humoring me? Roses. Did you guys get that before? Servos? Okay, you're probably right, Murder, as always. There you go. Yep, you're right. Hart didn't answer if I'm really on the team, Murder. Hart? Am I on the team, Hart? You got it 10 minutes ago? Of course you're the Carolyn, you're the captain. Oh, you guys. Not nice, Mary. Not nice. Let's see. Big. Did you guys get gown? Now, how now, brown cow? Remember that one? I gotta go out with the boys tomorrow. Nib. Okay, my father used to like those nibs. They were that black licorice. Okay, let's see here. Nope. Nope, about what? I asked about something a while ago, right? I don't remember what it was. Nog, I tried. I think it's we're so ion, yeah. It's always an I usually when you an I word. It's going to be hard. We probably should wait till tomorrow because it's 3 something. It's almost 4 and I've got to go out tomorrow. So, but I'll try to check in with you guys from the road. Thanks for being here and thanks for everybody that's checking in. I appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow. Stay well, be good. Prayers for all that need them. A bunch of us need prayers. We all do. So Sam, prayers for the cat, Smidgy, and everybody. And I see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Denise, for the super chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to our members. And the Murder of Crows. Hold on a minute, Murder of Crows. Don't go. Don't go away, Murder of Crows. Don't go away. I got something for you. And look, Murder of Crows. Look at Murder of Crows. Oh, Murder of Crows. Uh-oh, does anybody notice? Does anybody notice? Heart? Murder? Murder! Oh my goodness. Murder? Really? You don't have to do anything. But that way you won't ask me all the time, why are the comments being deleted? You'll see. Stop. You don't have to, you're not expected to do anything. Don't worry about it. Dookie, God bless. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in, Dookie. Please stop in more often. You want to just try it out, Murder? Okay, yeah, try it out. If you're unhappy, we'll de-wrench you, but you can try it on for a little bit and see if you like it, okay? If you don't like it, then we'll, yeah, come be in our club, says, come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. Hi, Matt. You better be back, Dookie. All right. Everybody be good. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow. All righty. I'm going to see us out of here if I can find it. There we go. Oh, you really? Okay. All right, I'll de-wrench you. Really? I will.